Well, hello again. This video I will talk or explain and kind of show how I set up my guitars. I've gotten a couple of questions because I did how I set up my pickups video, and now I'm trying to explain how I set up my guitars. So okay, well, the neck, how I adjust the neck. I mean, kind of rule of thumb, what I do is I put a finger on the first fret and then finger on the last fret, which in this case is the 22nd fret. And when I look here, it should have a, like air between the frets and the strings. So if the string is totally, touching the frets, then the neck is at least it's curved on the wrong direction, or maybe it's just like flat straight. So I adjust it so that there's like 1 millimeter or something when I'm pressing here. Bet you can see it now. But I mean, there is, when I look at it, there's a space going whole through the neck. So that's why like this, because I mean, then no matter where the tailpiece, how high or how low it is, it doesn't affect the neck, measuring the neck or whatever is the word. But like this, and well, if you set it up that it's cool for E string. I mean, if your neck is straight and not, like fucked up, then all it will, be the same on all the strings. But if you do it like with this string and then suddenly, let's say your B string doesn't ring or it doesn't have the space there between, then your neck is fucked up, and I don't know if there's anything you can do with that. But if your neck is good and solid and straight, so to say, then it will be good. So that's kind of rule of thumb, so that it will ring. And after that, when I measure it, okay, now the neck is cool, neck is good, then I'll just adjust the tailpiece to the height that it's comfortable to play. I mean, if it's too low, then the strings won't ring, and if it's too high here, it's obviously it's harder to play. So then I just adjust that, make sure that all the strings ring in all the parts of the neck. I mean, sometimes there might be some when you bend the string or something, or then it might be case of frets, so maybe you need to just tap a little fret. Sometimes I've had like dead spots, and usually they go away by just like slightly tapping or pushing the fret, or with some it's not sandpaper made for metal, maybe you can just like sand it down, or if it's really badly the frets worn out, then you have to take it to a pro. I mean, I'm taking it to a small, like little fixes if something is desperate. I managed to do it myself. But if I had some really bad big issues with frets, then I've taken my guitar to the pro, and they fix the frets. I mean, sometimes it needs to be refretted if it's worn out really badly, or if it's just on some cases, then it might be okay for just doing what I explained. Well, that's how I set it up, and the tailpiece, so that it's easier to play. And okay, that's that. I mean, in this case, the truss rod is here, so that's why I don't have the cavity cover here, so I can easily adjust the neck. Because I mean, although this is maple neck, which is really hard, but I mean, you go to aeroplanes, play in different countries, different humidities, different conditions. The neck leave. So usually, if I'm like, oh fuck, feel straight, so then it's just usually small adjustments, and it will be fine. So if the neck is like that direction too much, then you have to lower the truss rod, loosen the truss rod, so the strings will pull it back. If it's too curved like this one, then you have to tighten the truss rod so that it will, you know, fight harder against the strings, so it will be straighter. But you know, as close as possible, I try to have the neck as straight as possible. But in order to have this, what I explained, so that you have space there, I guess the neck have to be slightly, you know, not exactly, you know, 100% straight, maybe a little bit curve on there. But I don't really mind whatever it is, as long as it feels good and it rings. And usually good thing is to take it like this. And yep, there's space, cool. Okay, and then yeah, what is this? Well, this is what I use when I record, and actually now we're going to tour with Cyhra, and I realized that I can actually hear because it cuts off that really high frequencies when you kind of damp, so it kind of, even though you have gate, this has so much sustain, so it's kind of like this extra unwanted, but you know, I mean, you don't hear it, you know, when you play with the band, or at least the audience doesn't hear it. But it's just, you know, I just put it back there because it's quite easy to get rid of any of the extra noise that that might cause playing with distortion and loud volumes. And then the intonation, I don't know if I guess you're familiar with that, but whenever you change your strings to a different gauge, whatever you pronounce it, and the tuning, you have to make sure the intonation is right, because I mean, if the intonation isn't correct, your chord will, I mean, it might be in tune, you know, like with open strings, but whenever you play a chord, and especially in the higher parts, it sounds will sound out of tune, because it is. So the intonation is set it up like this. So you let's say high E string, which in this case, this is a Cyhra tuning, normal Cyhra tuning, it's C. Okay, cool, it rings. Yeah, this should be the same. It is the artificial harmonic and that. And then you press on the 12th string, 12th fret. It's the same. I have a tuner here, so it should be same. If it's if this note is higher than the free string, then it means the string is too it isn't it's too what the fuck is that? Too short. Yeah, it's too short, so you have to, you know, put this thing, whatever, saddle, closer to the bridge, so that the strings will be longer, you know, i.e. the longer the string, the lower the sound. Because I mean, if I'm playing here, shorter string, higher sound, lower sound, lower sound, lower sound. So free string and the octave. And if the octave is, you know, like I told, it's in a higher pitch than the free open string, then the string is too short, and you have to put this thing closer to the bridge to make the string longer. And if it's if this note is it's lower than the open note, then the string is too long. So you have to move the piece closer to the neck. So and I mean, with this kind of tailpiece, two-pneumatic piece, it's really easy to screw. I mean, with the Floyd Royce, you have to take off the strings, or at least loosen it, and then screw it open, and then put it, and then. But here's basically, it's really easy to set up the intonation with the stop bar. And when it's intonated, it should be in tune everywhere, but being the guitar, it isn't. I mean, everyone knows the G string problem. I usually tune my G string just a little bit lower than what the tuner says, because then when I press it, it's usually in tune. So these strings, and same with the B string, you kind of have to. It's not. Let's lower it, but just like a slight lower, but it depends, varies depending on the guitar. So if possible, you know, the always tune also with your ear. I mean, the tuner is good and great, but you know, the ears are the most important thing in playing in general. If you don't hear, it's quite hard to play and learn songs or whatever. Okay, that was that, and let me grab another guitar which I set up a little bit differently. This is my my tele, and you can see it rings a little bit louder because the strings are higher. Because when I play with this guitar, I usually play. I usually play country stuff, and I adjusted the string. The strings are a little bit higher than on my Les Paul type of those ESPs when I play with distortion. And here I have. Well, it's pretty much the 1 millimeter about, but I've set it the strings a little bit higher, relating according to the guitar I had, because it's easier to bend them, you know. Bend those country style of double stop bends. And you know, when I play with this, I play with not that much of distortion, or not distortion at all, so you really have to ring. I mean, when you play with the distortion, you get a lot of sustain and natural compression, especially when playing with EMG active pickups. So the strings they can be a little bit lower than on you know, this type of guitar where you usually play like you know, country or basic rock. At least in my opinion, or how I like to set up my strings. I mean, this could be a bit easier to play this guitar if I would have the strings lower, but then that would sacrifice the quality of the sustain and the overall sound. So it's always kind of like compromise, you know. I mean, the easiest, you know, would be play if the strings would be completely on the really close to the fretboard, but that will, you know, at least to play fast runs. But then that way it will be harder to play, you know, bends, and the sustain would suck, and the guitar wouldn't ring as much. I mean, I guess Stevie Ray Vaughan played with like 13 to, I don't know, 56 set, and with E flat tuning, so really thick strings, and he had, what I've understood, he had his intonation, his strings really high, and that's, you know, he got the really powerful sustain, and he really pounded the chords. But it's you know, whatever feels comfortable for you. Cool. All right. Did I miss anything? Yeah, obviously with this old vintage bridge, because there's 2 strings on one piece, so the intonation is a bit harder to adjust completely, but if the guitar is good like this, it's actually really surprisingly good. Yeah, that was about how I adjust my guitars, the neck, the intonation, and well, the pickup thing I covered already on my previous video, how I adjust them. So if you're interested, please take a look at that video. But until next time, take care, cheers.